Hi, I'm Meredith Vieira, host of The Great American Read. They say to write what you know, and what does anyone know better than the town they grew up in? Great books can give us an intimate look at the hometowns of the authors that we love. Join us as we hear how authors shine a light on their hometowns in some of our favorite books.
So in Asheville, Thomas Wolfe is a very famous author, and he wrote a book called Look Homeward, Angel that takes place mostly in Asheville. And it is really an amazing book. It is really a long haul and very engrossing and difficult to read because of the language is incredibly ornate, but it's beautiful in its own way. And so I was really struck by that. So I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. That's where I live. I've lived there for a long time, and it has totally shaped what I write about and how I write, and because I am deeply inspired by that setting, by the Asheville area. Biltmore Estate is where the Serafina series takes place in the mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. And of course, Willa of the Wood takes place in the Great Smoky Mountains in eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina. And my books are filled with the settings where they take place. So I've read these other books where I just really enjoyed the setting, and they might be like medieval fantasies like Lord of the Rings and so on, and I wanted to go to England because of that, and in fact did so. Went to England and visited these castles and just was really struck by that. And so that was sort of the motivation for choosing to write about my own home region, is I wanted to do the same thing for this area. Well, I have found that it's incredibly useful and inspiring for young people to be able to read about their own home region and about people that they might not be exactly like them, but they're close enough to them that they can relate to them. But kids are bombarded by all sorts of things from all sorts of places and all sorts of cultures and different types of media. And in order to get them interested in the book, it's often very useful for them to be able to read about their own world, to read about the mountains or the city they live in or the region they live in, to hear people speaking in the same accent they have. And it just makes the books much more readable for people, especially young people who are struggling to read books for pleasure for the first time. So these reluctant and resistant readers. If you give them a book that they can relate to, that they can imagine in their mind, and in my case, they can actually visit the places that I write about. And it just clinches the story in their mind, because as they're reading the story, they can visualize it much more.
Authors across generations have drawn from their hometown experiences to create great literature. It's the sense of community and a profound sense of place that ground any story. I'm Meredith Vieira. Thanks for watching.
Authors and Their Hometowns, the companion documentary to The Great American Read, was made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a grant from Anne Ray Foundation, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.